everybody, I'm Rudrani and welcome to Spotlight Sessions podcast. This is the podcast where we call your favorite celebrities, talk about their lives, celebrate their journeys and get to know them a little bit more. Than the actor that you see on screen, we here want to have authentic conversations, talk about who they are, their choices and so much more. Which is why my guest today is absolutely the perfect person to do this with. He has been real, uninhibited, unhinged, and always been who he is. It's very difficult to be this in an industry who tells you to be so much more than that or be somebody else. Of course, he is good looking. He's been very, very talented. I'm talking about Prateik Smita Patil. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you so much, Rudrani. That's such a lovely intro. I'm touched.
You were one of the few actors when I was this budding journalist or somebody who had come in the industry who you had actually been so kind and befriended.
We always had a riot. We had so much fun.
We did.
Every interview, I remember we had so much fun. The real fun was pre-interview and post-interview.
That is true.
That was the real fun. I think interview तो interview होता है, लेकिन उसके पहले और बाद में
अलग बात है ना?
अलग बात होती.
So we're going to go right into it. There is so much that the world think they know about Prateik.
Yes.
I'm going to try and tell them what the true facts are from yours truly.
Sure.
Right? I mentioned the word unhinged, uninhibited, real a couple of times in the introduction because I know it is true.
I take that as a compliment.
It is meant 100% as a compliment. आपको पता है मैं ये क्यों कह रही हूँ, right?
जी.
I think आप ऐसे काफी टाइम पहले से थे. You were proudly owning the label of being different, being a rebel in a way, being unconventional in a way. ये सब चीज़ों को आपने बड़े ऐसे प्यार से अपनाया था.
जी.
When you think back of the time when you started, you know, with not when the PR machinery and the world around you
paid paparazzi culture
was not there.
Yes.
How do you look at that boy, at that man who had started this journey?
It's been one hell of a roller coaster, Rudrani. Almost feels like we've lived through different eras, you know. And I think we have people from my generation, actors and my colleagues. I think we've seen a lot of change in the industry, in movie making, in script writing. Everything's changing. Change is constant, is the only constant, you know. And I think if we want to grow, we need to move with the times. And I think that's something that I've understood on the way. It's fascinating now, Rudrani. It really is so fascinating now. Coming from जब 20-25 साल के थे, paid paparazzi culture नहीं था तब, तो literally इस press पीछे भागती थी, कहीं पकड़ लिया तो पकड़ लिया, and it had its own charm, you know. But I think now it's very interactive. It's different now. It's interactive, and it's got its own charm, you know, these days. And like I said, you have to move with the times, and I'm trying, and hopefully I'm succeeding. And yeah, I'm just very grateful to be here and sitting with you, having this conversation with you.
I think you were about 18 when you got your first ad. Am I right? Is this, or were you about 18, 19?
I was 18, that's correct.
You were about 18,
18
right?
when I did my first commercial, yes. एक दो किए थे मैंने, yes.
You actually didn't shy away from saying that मुझे पता नहीं था मैं क्या करने वाला हूँ.
Yeah.
And you were at that time already going through a lot of things that not many will probably go through.
Sure.
The impact of what happens to you and the childhood that you go through will kind of stay forever, and you try to heal from the trauma.
Sure, absolutely.
आपको ये सब चीजें पब्लिक में करनी पड़ी थी.
जी, unfortunately. बचपन से.
And I know that we had spoken probably a little about it more off than on camera before, but there is also the survivor's guilt for you that I think you spoke about once. Looking at the complications around you in relationships with your dad, and then you were also trying to have your own identity, and you were so adamant about it. I want to go there.
Life has thrown me adversities since a very young age, And I have been very grateful and blessed to overcome those adversities and adapt, and overcome, if I may. I feel like I have a guardian angel. I've always had a guardian angel. And now I have three because my grandparents are with my mother now. So I have three guardian angels. But since I've been a child, I think I've always been protected by my guardian angel. तो जो कुछ भी हुआ complicated बचपन में या teenage years में या कहीं ना कहीं somehow or the other I learned to overcome. Some decisions rather were wrong. Choices were wrong, decisions were wrong. But I think I needed to go through all of that to understand my entire scenario, life scenario, if I may. And I needed the tug of war happening, constant tug of war, you know. I think I needed it to make me a better person, and I needed it to realize the truth, if I may.
Can you exemplify the tug and pull for people who don't understand in a short way? Maybe it can be a memory or a moment that you felt was really difficult for you.
It's
It can be anything.
It's complicated when I mean, listen, there's a million and millions and millions of people like me who grow up with a broken family or without a parent or without a mother or father. But I think the nature of the situation was a little more intense because my parents were famous people. My mother is still a legend, very much still celebrated. So it was different because it's not like ठीक है normal middle class home है, कोई जानता नहीं है, माँ नहीं है, पिता नहीं है, ठीक है, आगे बढ़ो, life goes on. वैसा नहीं था. मेरी ज़िंदगी open book थी बचपन से, unfortunately. तो वो constant reminder कि आपकी माँ है और ये बहुत बड़ी हस्ती थी और और आपके पिता भी हैं और दोनों famous लोग हैं और then just growing up not seeing them around kind of made me hate is a strong word, but it kind of made me bitter about them both, extremely bitter. So that was the tug of war कि accept करूँ नहीं करूँ, accept करूँ नहीं करूँ, किसका fault है, पिता का है, माँ का है, किसका है, ये जिंदगी भर चलते रहा. Or finally I'm at peace with everything. And I mean, obviously it's this, you still heal, you still have to heal because these kind of situations, as you said, these kind of circumstances are extremely tough to overcome completely. You go through healing your entire life. But I think वही था tug of war कि accept करूँ या नहीं, प्यार करूँ या नहीं, उनकी तरह बनूँ या नहीं, या फिर आइडेंटिटी बिल्कुल मुझे उनकी आइडेंटिटी मुझे बिल्कुल नहीं चाहिए. ना मैं बाप का हूँ, ना मैं माँ का हूँ, मैं खुद का हूँ. ये ज़िंदगी भर चला. But I think finally, because I have now embraced my mother's name fully. I am now called Prateik Smita Patil, and it's got a very beautiful ring to it, if I may. I feel like it's a
Prateik Smita Patil.
Yes, it's got it sounds like music to my ears. I think I owed it to her. I owed it to her to embrace her wholly and solely. She gave her life for me. She deserves it. She gave her life for me. A mother gave her life for her child. The least I could do is embrace her entire name, and that's what I did. वो लोग कहते हैं कि अरे आपने बब्बर ड्रॉप किया. नहीं, बिल्कुल नहीं. मैंने सिर्फ स्मिता पाटिल आजमाया, उसको मैंने embrace किया.
You have faced judgments since a very long time. So I don't unfortunately. Like you said, because your life was being discussed since.
I recently found out Shabana ji and Javed Saab wanted to adopt me after my mother passed away, and it was kind of complicated and all that.
I don't know.
I could have been Farhan's stepbrother.
Listen, but it's sweet. No, in a way.
I find these things out, new things about me all the time, and it's quite fascinating. I'm like, yaar, aur kya hai? Batao. It's also a bit overwhelming, if I may. बहुत overwhelming है कि यार ये भी है, अब पता नहीं क्या होता था, अगर ये होता तो मैं पता नहीं क्या जिंदगी एक it's many things I hear about me as a child. मेरे लिए custody की फाइट हुई थी बचपन में, और मैं इतना सा मैं कर रहा था, और मैं आई हैव नो आइडिया, मुझे कुछ आइडिया नहीं क्या हो रहा है मेरे बारे में, मेरी ज़िंदगी के बारे में. बट this is all of this happened. There was a custody battle. There was people wanted to adopt me. People, if
there are many actors, if I know, have been very protective about you also, right? The ones who.
Yes. All my mother's colleagues and all my mother's friends and colleagues.
I think among them there were more, isn't it?
Yes.
Do you know who they were? But I think it's so sweet. Imagine the kind of person Smita ji must have been.
Oh, yeah.
For people to just come rally and say, we'll take care of Prateik.
Oh yeah.
So maybe I want to just know who they were. I knew few were there.
Very, very grateful for all the love she gets and all the goodwill she has from the industry and her colleagues and friends. Shabana ji was definitely one of them. Shabana ji, Javed Saab, Amar ji has always, Mr. Bachchan has always been very kind and supportive. I think everybody of her time and everybody she shared a bond with, Nasir Sahab, Ratna ji, the late great Mr. Shyam Benegal, obviously. वो इरा ही अलग था यार, वो इरा ही अलग था. वो I recently I found out another thing about my life, that I was conceived on the sets of Mirch Masala.
Really? Oh my God. You know what's one of my favorite films?
It's a lovely film. I recently saw it again.
So empowering.
A lovely film यार, बहुत क्या बढ़िया film थी. Women empowerment,
Oh,
क्या scene था वो end में.
it was crazy.
है ना, मिर्ची फेंकने का क्या था वो यार. But yeah, I recently found out that she got pregnant on the sets of Mirch Masala, which I didn't know. So lots of things I'm finding out 38 years after life. आजकल होता है ना वो meme. I was today years old when I found out. तो वो काफी बार हुआ है मेरे साथ. I was today years old when I.
You mentioned Mr. Bachchan.
Yes.
And I know how grateful you felt towards him. That I remember once you had spoken about it, and you said that Abhishek feels like an elder brother to me, because of the way they looked after you or they checked on you, right?
Yes.
How was that moment? Because it felt so real when you said it, but I think Arya and others got a little upset because they said because of what Raji and Mr. Bachchan had, there was a feud that continued for a long time. But I feel you were also looking for places where you could find love, right?
Yeah.
And why not?
Sure. It was very innocent for me. I was a 24-year-old, 23-year-old, 24-year-old kid. For me, all I was thinking was, अरे शक्ति में रमेश जी, बच्चन साहब और मेरी माँ थी, और दम मारो दम में रोहन सिप्पी, अभिषेक बच्चन और मैं हूँ. That's all I was thinking. I'm like, yeah, इसको बोलते हैं next generation. इसको बोलते हैं new era.
Taking the legacy forward.
So I was just an innocent, and obviously I didn't know the history, and I didn't know that. Also, unfortunately, चीजें dramatize हो जाती हैं. They things like this get sensationalized and dramatized, and it's just kind of gets blown out of proportion, if I may. I think that's what happened. If it's okay, it's in the past. Let's not dwell in the past. But it's काफी चीजें हुए हैं यार, काफी चीजें हुए हैं. Lots of.
But from what I learned from that was, here's a person who's trying to feel or is feeling grateful for being loved and being protected. That's
Sure.
what I saw.
Sure. And I was
Am I wrong in my assumption?
No, absolutely not. And I genuinely enjoyed the company, and I genuinely enjoyed the love and care I was getting from, because I was मैं 24 साल का बच्चा था. He was, I think he was in his late 30s or 40s, late 30s or early 40s or something. Abhishek, Rohan, and so they were. It's but natural they were being protective towards me, and coming with my background, industry kid, and maa nahi hai or complicated hai, and I felt like everybody did feel a sense of कि नहीं इसको थोड़ा प्यार देना पड़ेगा, संभालना पड़ेगा, which also kind of played negatively on my mind, because it did remind me of my childhood where people used to give me pity love. तो वो भी एक तरीके से मुझे पसंद नहीं था और मुझे उस तरीके से मुझे महसूस हुआ कि क्या यही हो रहा है. मेरी माँ नहीं है, कॉम्प्लिकेटेड सिचुएशन है, बाप के साथ रहता नहीं हूँ, क्या इसीलिए मुझे लोग प्यार दे रहे हैं. I felt, but I mean, it's normal. It's been a normal thing, but I enjoyed every moment of it, Rudrani. I enjoyed every moment of that bonding and love, not just with Abhishek and Rohan and specifically, but it's just I think I'm a very simple guy. You give me love, I give you love back. It's very simple.
But this is said with all respect. I love Prateik's villain era.
I love it too. It's so much fun.
You went with it.
Yes.
And you accepted it and you played with it.
Yes.
We'll come to Sikandar and we have to come to Hit 3.
Yes.
Because it will be almost criminal, pun intended, to not let him talk about his villain era.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
First, Sikandar.
Yes.
I know that the movie has not done what it's supposed to do.
Yes.
But you put yourself out there.
Yes.
You were working with Bhaijan.
Yes.
You got to be a part of a massive commercial film after a really long time.
Yes.
Let's go there. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, that was, I mean, hey, it's, I guess everyone, checked box for or all of us young actors who've watched Mr. Salman Khan literally grow up on screen, and we have grown up watching him grow up, on screen, and I think it's part of everyone's tick box to be able to work with Bhaijan, and definitely tick the box. Definitely, that was it was something that I will never forget. I mean, I don't think anybody will forget working with Salman Khan. It is.
Was he proud to see who you are after that really long time when he said?
I wish I had that time with him, because if I did, I know he would. But unfortunately, there's too much on his plate.
There was a lot of security and all that.
Yeah, a lot of security. It was so we didn't really get down to talking about personal things. But I did mention to him that I just welcomed my new puppy into our lives, so I spoke about him a little bit, and we spoke about his dogs. And I remember he had 2 dogs. I mean, no matter what is going on, he makes sure he asks how I am and how his family and how's it, And he was the same. Is everything okay? And are you fine? But he's preoccupied. He's too much on his. I can't even imagine.
You also must be scared, right? At the time he was doing this, when all the threats was happening, all the death
peak,
threats.
Yes, peak, literal peak. It was peak at, gunshots firing and death threats and Z security. Literally set tak unke saath 10-15 log hote the.
And you were shooting among that.
Yeah, literally. No, he would come. Normally, you come to set with your manager, maybe a makeup or security. He had the entourage because he was. I mean, it was that kind of. That was the nature of the situation. It was unfortunate, but the little time I had with Mr. Salman Khan was amazing. We had a scene. We had some action scenes. We had a blast. Shooting them, literal blast. because every punch of his, if you see the film, every punch of his is a blast. Yeah, and it was my second stint with A.R. Murugadoss. I got lucky because I got the call from A.R. So I worked with A.R. So in Darbar and Mr. Rajnikant, and he loved working with me. So his team called saying, "Oh, sir wants to work with you. He loved working with you." I'm like, "Okay, Mr. Murugadoss is calling. How do you say no?
You show up.
How do you say no? You show up, and it's Salman Khan. How do you it's just literally it was a no-brainer, and I got lucky, and it was I got the chance to work with Salman Khan.
And then you're getting a lot of love right now for Hit 3.
Yes.
Did you expect that? Also, Nani.
Yes.
The film is doing very, very
It
well.
is, yes, almost a few hours we'll touch 100 crores, yeah, which is amazing.
Ooh.
Yeah. Well, I'm usually not the kind to go and check, but all my friends are like, "Oh, bhai, बहुत पैसे बना रही है, बहुत पैसे बना रही है." I'm like, "अरे, फिर देखना पड़ेगा यार." Yeah. I was again, I felt like I'd done something right in my career. मुझे खुद call आया शैलेश का saying, "Bro, I love your work," and मुझे पहले लगा audition लेंगे, it's a Telugu film and this and that, it's like, no, bro, no audition. I love you, you'll do it. I'm like, okay, do I have to speak Telugu? Yeah, but you'll do it, don't worry. I'm like, wow, इतना conviction, confidence मुझे मिले नहीं है. Literally, it's the first conversation we're having, and he was sold. He was like, "You will do it." And I'm speaking Telugu through the entire film. It's a mix of Telugu, English, and Hindi. 80% Telugu, 10% English, 10% Hindi. ऐसी film है वो. And I embraced it. I embraced the character. I embraced that the maniac. My name is Alpha in the film. मेरा नाम Alpha है. और मैं इंसान नहीं हूँ, हैवान हूँ मैं फिल्म में. हैवान हूँ मैं, हैवान. उफ. और हैवानियत, मैं राक्षस हूँ यार, और वो दिख रहा है फिल्म में. और
Collaborating with Nani also must have been.
Oh yeah, he's a lovely guy. He's a lovely guy. And anyway, I feel like South, isn't वो passion कुछ और ही है. South का passion यार, वो everyone is just so passionate in the South, and that rubs off, Yeah, I felt very lucky to be part of that film, and I felt very grateful and fortunate for my director to have that kind of trust and belief in me, not knowing who I was and how I could work with the language. And he was like, he called me Prateik Bhai. Prateik Bhai, don't worry, आप कर लोगे यार, Prateik Bhai. अब मैं हूँ ना, कर लोगे आप.
Love that.
ठीक है भाई, and कर लिया हम लोग ने यार. We managed it. I had massive monologues, Telugu monologues. मैंने एक दो टेक में उड़ा दिया है, और पूरा शूट नाइट शूट था. अगले साल 20 साल हो जाएंगे. 19, अब मैं 39 कहूँगा अगले इस साल. लेकिन पहली बार जिंदगी में मैंने 1 महीना बैक टू बैक नाइट शूट्स किया है. तो 1 महीना मैं यूएसए टाइम पे, हम लोग सब जी रहे थे, सब उल्टे टाइम से जी रहे थे हम. तो हम लोग उठ रहे थे, जा रहे थे, लिटरली ज़ॉम्बी की तरह, रोबोट की तरह हम चले, लिटरली. सो we slept the whole day. We gone to set. I'm a robot. I have these lines. ठीक है, जो भी है पढ़ लिया. 1-2 टेक में उड़ा के हम लोग, जो हुआ पता नहीं, लेकिन ऑडियंस पूरा सेट लाइक, भाई तो कुछ तो सही कर रहा हूँ मैं, अच्छा है यार, सही है. So and that really encouraged me and gave me confidence, and I think it was a great collaborative process, all of us, and film hit hogi, Hit 3 hit hogi.
I know there are a lot of other film offers that you're getting also, I'm sure, from the South industry, from Telugu, Tamil, and I am just so excited that we get to see you doing all of these characters. Also, the way your face lit up when you spoke about your film.
Yes.
I'm just so happy for you.
Thank you.
And I am only wishing you all the best.
Thank you for that.
From the bottom of my heart, I'm, cheering for you that you get to do crazy characters.
I please, yes, please pray for me. I pray for myself too. I quite enjoyed this maniac I played.
But on that note, thank you so much for being a part of my podcast,
Thank you for
Spotlight
having me.
Sessions. Thank you for being who you are.
Thank you.
And I
Thank
know
you
it's
for giving me the opportunity. Thank you for making me feel so safe and so and in as you have to be comfortable to be vulnerable,
sure.
and you made that happen for me. Thank you.
Thank you. I will always cheer for you.
All right.
Please come on my show again. Thank you so much. High five.
Next,
Wait. I'm just ending this.
wait, sorry. Next, my wife, you and I will meet.
Have a chat.
Bilkul.
We have to. Okay?
I have
We
to be sandwiched between two Bengalis.
We will
I
do
can't
that.
wait.
We will do that. I mean, absolutely. But thank you once again.
Thank you.
Thank you for being
Such a
who you are.
pleasure. Pleasure always. And it's always good seeing you.